All right, guys, today we're going to be going over how to update the status of your work orders. This could be changing it from A to B, A to C, from B to F, B to O, B to M, whatever it is, whatever you're trying to do, whatever changes you need to make to it to show the progress of said work order. I'm going to go over how to do that. So originally iWhiskey32 was your way to do that, and it's still here. It's just they've taken some of the options away, but iWhiskey32 is ultimately where you're going to go within that work order to make those changes. Now I'm going to show you in Z Saber where you want to do it, because in Z Saber it's going to show you exactly which work order statuses you can actually do. So I'm going to go through the different ways to get into and change the status, and then I'm going to show you in Z Saber how to change the status. Hopefully this makes more sense when I start doing it. So before we get started, I wanted to say, if this is your first time watching, please go down, subscribe, hit the bell notification so that when these videos come out, because they're not always on a schedule, they're sporadic at best, that will let you know, send you a notification, let you know that the new video has came out and you might want to go watch it. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you got more questions or concerns for this video, go down in the comments section and address those there. Without further ado, let's jump into the video. All right, so first I want to go into, so this right here is my equipment situation report. So this is just where I go in and look at all of my equipment, but I've narrowed it down to just deadline equipment because I know that that equipment has an actual work order. So I'm going to click on a specific piece of equipment that I'm going to follow throughout this. So I want to click on this one and then click on orders. As you can see, I got one work order. So from there I can click on the work order and it's automatically going to take me down to iWhiskey32. Now here is where you're going to change it. So right now I have parts on order for this deadline piece of equipment. So when you order those parts, it automatically puts it in a 1 status, but you can click on it and it gives you this little box. Once these parts come in, it will typically, once you've processed them and issued them to the work order, it should put you in a C status at most to let you know that this piece of equipment is ready to go into the shop. But what you can do is you can click on this little box here and it's going to give you all of these different work order statuses that you can change it to. So you've got 1 for deadline parts. Now these are the key ones. You got K for non-deadlining parts. You got A, which is when it first opens, it goes into A status. B is in shop. C is in awaiting shop. D is deferred, meaning you're waiting on more parts or you're waiting on somebody to come look at it, something along those lines. E and F are for your inspections to go out. You have G, which is road test. It goes on. You can understand how that works. The problem is sometimes you can't just change to these statuses. Like you can't just go automatically to S status from 1 status. It doesn't work like that. So if I tried to click on this and change it to that status, it's not going to let me. So we're going to close out of that. We're good with this one. And that is from the equipment situation, your equip sit. So this is my equipment status report. So this is my ESR. So we chose 362. Let's see if we can find 362. Where is it? Yep, right there at the top. So right here is 362. Same thing. We have the orders right here, and we just click on the order. And again, it's going to bring up iWhiskey32, and you can change it from there. So I'm not going to bore you by going through this whole process again, since we just did it in the equip sit. This is Z Saber. So when Z Saber comes up, you pull it up based off of your work center. So the difference between Z Saber and, let's say, your equip sit, which pulls up only specific pieces of equipment, or your ESR, which only brings up your reportable items unless you put it in that you want non-reportables and that you want non-deadlining fault work orders, things of that nature. Whereas Z Saber is going to bring up all of those. So I already have a filter in here. As you can see, the drop down box, I have a filter in for just deadlines, because again, I wanted to show you that regardless of where you're at, it's automatically going to pull up that you click on the work order and it's going to take you to iWhiskey 32. So we're doing it again, and again, it's iWhiskey 32. So it automatically sends you to this every time, because this is where you go for your actual work order. Now, I said before that you might want to use it would be better to use Z Saber for your updates, because what you'll do is highlight the row. You can go up here and it says 1, 2, 3 order progress. You click on that, and then you have your system condition. This is your status codes. Click on it, get your little box to show up. And as you can see, instead of that long list of statuses that the other ones gave me in iWhiskey 32, it gives me the exact ones that I can actually change it to. So I can change it to awaiting deadlining, NMC parts, local purchase. That means that I have to use my GPC card to go get those parts. Or I can bring it back in for service. It's awaiting shop because the parts came in. It's in shop because we can work on it. Things of that nature. So as you can see, it gives you a more defined list of what you can do with that work order. So we don't want to change it because I'm just showing you through the process. Now this is important when it comes to you closing out your work order, which will be our next video in this series for Z Saber. Closing out the work order, you will want to make sure that you're going in order of merit with these statuses. Otherwise, you're going to have issues and it's not going to close out properly. So that is, in a nutshell, how to update your work order statuses. All right, so there's a lot of different ways you can skin this cat, but like I said, the best way for you to honestly do it is through Z Saber, because it narrows down your chance of messing up or having to fight with it to figure out which T code or which status code it's going to accept, because the system's only going to accept one. You can't go from one status to F status or S status. So you want to make sure that you go through the process and that you're using the right ones. And plus, when somebody's looking at the ESR and they see that you got a part that's been on hand for the last 30 days and it's still sitting in one status or it's still sitting in C status, they're going to wonder why you don't have it in B status when you've had the part for that long. And in reality, that job's already left the shop. You just haven't closed it out. So, I mean, that's a little far-fetched, but it's the same thing with your non-deadlining parts. So make sure that you're doing this, staying on top of it, and it makes it a lot easier and a lot less questions from somebody in a higher position to look at and ask you. So just food for thought. Again, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully this gives you something else for your toolkit bag, and let's accept it. Z Saber is here. I'll see you guys in the next video.